Listen up, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, YouTube and Facebook world.
Love it.
It's awesome.
Are you ready to have coffee with Glenda and friends? Let's go. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
It's still the best.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this week's Coffee with Glenda. We have a great show lined up for you. Today, I'm going to be talking all about church and specific church marketing. What is it and how is it done? So get prepared. We have about 15 to 20 minutes together. Hopefully, I'll give you some great tidbits. If you are a first-time visitor to our channel, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you are a member of our paid community, stay tuned because tonight I will be uploading you things on how to do what I will be sharing, what to do during this week's live. So stay tuned, everyone. Get your coffee and let's get started. All right, as I mentioned in my intro, today we are talking church marketing. What is it and how is it done? Basically, church marketing brings your service and your church programs to the marketplace. Marketing does not involve people who are already connected to your congregation, already members of your congregation, already viewers on your subscriber or on your viewer channels and different social platforms. Church marketing involves trying to reach people who you don't already know. Now, a lot of times people say, well, you know, how is that different than business marketing? And I know it's kind of controversial because we don't want to make church so commercial. But when we clicked on that YouTube and Facebook page, we really entered into the marketing world. And church marketing is really no different than business marketing. So first, I want to give you some history on marketing. And it's a Greek term, and it simply means market. It's in ancient times. People went to what was known as the forum or the square, and they set up a stall and they encouraged people to come out and buy their product. That's marketing, okay? And years ago, decades ago, centuries ago, it was pretty much condensed. You went to the square in your particular area, so everybody went to one location. But as market opportunities began to arise, so had the need to find a place to service your product. Okay. So in those squares, and like today, there are different types of platforms in which you can share your product or service. So let's look for an example, a hot dog cart. Okay. Your question becomes, what is the best option to place your hot dog cart? So if I'm a food truck vendor, is it best for me to place my food truck in front of my home? Is it a better place for me to market my products, my hot dogs at a festival where there are lots of people? Or is it better on the side of a busy highway? So the point of this is that today we just have many places to offer our services. But the big question here is, where is the best place for me to offer my programs, my offerings from my church in today's market space? Okay, the big question, you have to ask yourself some questions. What service does your church offer, okay, to the marketplace, to the square, to the forums, other than the opportunity to worship online? Okay. And why do I ask this question? Because there are hundreds of thousands of churches right now that are offering their worship services online. So it makes it very, very, very what we call competitive. Okay. So now it can be very difficult. I want to just be transparent with that up front in this video to talk in business terms when it regards to the church. But as I mentioned, when you clicked on that social network button, you entered into a marketing space. So in order to be effective, church must clearly define what it is you're offering and if you are offering it to the right people. What do I mean by that? Okay. It involves simply influencing people to take a desired action, a call to action. So, would you promote your church message or service on TikTok? Okay. The answer is probably no. You wouldn't, put your whole worship service online on TikTok. Why? Because that's reaching a certain audience. Or if you are going to put it on TikTok, maybe, and you want to reach a specific audience, maybe a younger audience, then you have to tailor portions or snippets of your sermon in order for it to be effective to reach a certain demographic. Okay. And then what do you want that demographic to do? Do you want that 18 to 35-year-old eventually to come and watch a worship service online? But once they get there, it's targeted to an audience of 45 to 65. So that's what we mean about making sure that you're reaching the right people on the different types of forums or squares that you're in. Okay. So once you do create and you have that worship online service, what do you want the people to do at the end of the service? Most people want them to join their fellowship. Okay. But you write down what is it that you want people to do once you are online, once your worship service is over. What do you want them to do at the end? Okay. You want them to join, of course, your fellowship, but what else do you want them to do? Do you want to maybe start a small group? Okay. List some desired actions right now that you would like for people to do in the marketplace to take it with regard to your church. And what I mean by marketplace is, what do you want them to do at the end of your Instagram post? What do you want them to do at the end of your Facebook post? What do you want them to do at the end of your YouTube or Facebook Live? Okay. Next, you want to ask yourself the question, who can help me market? Okay. I'm putting up, as a pastor or associate pastor, executive pastor, I'm putting up these posts, communications director, but who can help me also market? And this is everyone that your church interacts with in the market is a marketer. Okay. So every person who is viewing your YouTube channel, your YouTube live, that person is a potential marketer for you. Okay. Those people, you want those people in your service. You want to constantly tell those people, share this, share our broadcast with your social network. They're marketing for you. So if you're online, even though, you can have someone chatting it, I would suggest you definitely have a moderator on all of your Facebook comments and your YouTube lives. Have someone putting that out there. Please share, like, and subscribe, but mostly share, because when one person shares, on an average, it's going to reach 300 to 500 people who are not already connected to you, which is what we want. Okay. So they are some of your best marketers, and it's free. All right. Sunday churchgoers. These are the people who are with you constantly. They're with you in your brick and mortar. They're also with you online. They can help you market. Open up your funnel. So many Facebook pages are closed only to the moderators. Now, does this mean that you're going to have to monitor your pages and deal with all kinds of crazy stuff and block people? Yes, it does. But what is your ultimate goal? Your ultimate goal is to get as many people to help you bring your service, your programs to the marketplace. So that leads me into the next point. Non-paid volunteers. Get a volunteer team together. Make them moderators of the group. Put them on a rotating schedule so that these individuals are helping you to monitor your forum, monitor your square, monitor your church marketplace. If you have a Facebook group or Facebook page and it's not open, you are losing out. You're losing out on a lot of potential people who can help you market for free. Okay. What about designated staff as marketers? Okay, a designated staff person can do nothing all by themselves. Okay, the person on staff should be orchestrating your other marketers, okay, your non-paid volunteers, the people that you've recruited on your in your tribe, on your forums. These are all potential marketers that are helping you get the word out. This person should be focused on training, motivating, and monitoring the community. Okay, so let's look at an example. A women's pastor seeking to grow a women's ministry. She's inspiring the women to grow in their gifts. It is the designated staff marketer's job to help that woman pastor design their marketing strategy and marketplaces. Okay, branding and monitoring it to tweak it where necessary. So your designated staff marketer basically serves as the conductor of your marketing team, of your marketing tribe. Okay, does that make sense? If not, put me a question in the comment box, and I will definitely get back and answer it for you. All right, what determines effective church marketing? Feedback. You will know when you're doing effective marketing. People will let you know in their comments. People will send you emails. You can do surveys, but really to determine whether or not your marketing is effective, you need feedback from your audience. That's the only way you can, we call that measurement. Okay, you have to measure it. Now, let's talk about the 80-20 rule. Over 100 years ago, an Italian economist noted that 80% of the land in Italy belonged to approximately 20% of the country's total population. He went on to infer that the majority of wealth in a free market economy is concentrated into the hands of a very small group of people, roughly about 20%. Now, this ultimately gave rise to what is known as the 80-20 rule, okay? Also known as the Pareto principle. In essence, this principle refers to this 80 to 20% relationship between effects and their causes. Now, the Pareto principle transcends disciplines into sports. For example, you'll find that at least 20% of the athletes and 80% of the time, or roughly 20% of training and exercise, impact 80% of the athlete's performance. Similarly, when it comes to economy, about 20% of the people create more than 80% of the total wealth in the nation. So, is the 80-20% rule effective for churches? The 80-20% rules does suggest that 80% of your church's revenue comes from 20% of your marketing efforts. I want to say that again. The 80-20 rule suggests that 80% of your church's revenue comes from 20% of your church's marketing efforts. Alternatively, you can say that 20% of what you do is responsible for 80% of your profits, or in this case, your donations. Now, I'm going to ask you the question, and you tell me, is that case true for your church? And some of you may say you don't know because you're not tracking your marketing efforts. You're not measuring your marketing efforts. And that is crucial for you to do, especially in this climate, as the church moves to a hybrid type model. Now, let's look at applying the 80-20% rule to marketing and donations. Now, in the sales and marketing ecosystem, you can use the 80-20 rule as a guide to come up with highly effective church marketing campaigns, as well as sales best practices, by asking questions such as, who are your most valuable and loyal customers? Which marketing channel best brings us the most conversions in our donations? Where are we getting the most traction as far as donations and people converting people to Christ? Is it on YouTube? Is it on Facebook? Is it on TikTok? Is it on Instagram? We have to find the answers to these questions. Second, what are our best-selling products or services? So many of us are pushing everything. We're pushing, 90% when we need to find that 20%. And we need to focus our messaging and our marketing efforts on those 20%. Okay. Now, once you formulate and answer these pointed questions, then you want to create a few strategies to help you focus your attention on those 20%. Okay. On the 20% strategies, on the 20% of your most valuable and loyal customers and your channels. It may not be what you want to do, but it is what it is. The data is what it is. If this is my market, this is what is driving. This is what we need to focus on. Okay, not what's trending, not what everybody else is out there doing on YouTube and Facebook, not the hottest trend, not the next big event or spectacle everybody's doing. What is the data saying to me for my audience? And that is what I need to focus my time, my messaging, and my marketing investments on. Okay, now tips. Just some church marketing tips for you. Top 20% members. Certain members are always going to be your high volume donors, but it is important not to take them for granted. Do not lose touch with your core members while acquiring new members or dealing with problem members. Make sure that you are always providing a superior, not good, not great, but superior member experience to your top 20. Keep them delighted with your service. Keep them engaged. Be on a more personal level with them. Explore many further ministry opportunities that involve them. Okay? They like to feel involved. They like to take ownership. Find those opportunities and pass it on to them and let them grow and flourish. Once you've identified your most profitable members, the easiest common ground is to look for where they reside. Look for trends in your giving platforms, paying special attention to where these members or customers are coming from. Okay, you'll notice locales, cities, regions that are far more lucrative than rest. If you know you have a strong online audience in, let's say, Florida or West Virginia, okay, then that's a sign. I need to invest more in that area. Maybe we need to do some promotions in that area. Maybe I need to do a pop-up worship service in that area. You can leverage this information to boost your message and marketing strategies to define these locations. All right, very important. Again, you want to focus on the top 20% of your content marketing channels. There are a lot of platforms out there, media outlets that can help you decide where to focus your finite resources. Some of us do not have a lot of resources. However, you have to find them because many of you at this point should have reached. If you're not doing any type of paid promotions to build your online audience and to engage and keep your online audience, if you're not doing any type of search engine optimization, then you're seeing right now, I assure you, either a plateau or a decline in that particular demographic. Okay, so again, going back to the 80-20 rule, 1/5 of all your channels will bring you the greatest results. So don't spray it all over the place and be all over the place with your marketing. Find where you're getting the best results. What's giving you the most significant numbers of potential members, of visitors, of customers, okay? That's where you want to focus it. You want to narrow it down to the ones that your team is good at targeting. And then you want to formulate effective strategies to engage and convert more of these channels. You want to create more content that's specifically feeding to those channels. Many times we want to do what we think is necessary. We don't have a very vibrant men's presence. What can we do to get more? You want to look at your data, because the DNA of your church is the DNA of your church. You can enhance it, you can embellish it, but you can't really change the DNA of that church, especially if it is a long-standing church, more than 100 years history. It's going to be almost impossible for you to change the actual DNA. Now, you can embellish it, you can grow, and you can develop other areas. However, the DNA is the DNA. Okay. And then I want to talk a little bit briefly about the stages of the marketing funnel, because we often get very, very discouraged because we feel like the marketing isn't paying off. We're not seeing any results. We don't see a big jump in engagement. But there is a process in marketing, and many times we are not following the funnel. We don't even have funnels. We put it up on YouTube or Facebook. We put a couple posts up a week. We put stuff out on Instagram, but we don't have a serious strategy to really stay engaged. It takes 7 to 10 touches for a person to really begin to like and trust your brand and engage with your brand. So if you don't have a system set up to stay engaged with these people, then 9 times out of 10, you're not going to convert them. All right. The first is the awareness stage. Okay. So I see you on YouTube. I'm scrolling through. I see your Facebook Live, and I'm aware of you. Okay. So the next step is, if I like you or if I do a notification, then that means that I'm considering you. I'm considering, building my trust or checking out or joining your congregation. And the final stage is actually conversion. But there is a lot in between those stages that has to be done. And that the most effective way to do that is through staying in touch with them through emails. So this is a major, major step that many churches do not follow, have not set up. Okay. And unfortunately, results in the hybrid the hybrid church model system not really working. And even in brick and mortar, in this day and time, it's a very competitive space. So you have to come up with some creative ways and a strong, strong strategy to be able to develop and grow your ministry. So gone are the days where we just open, everybody invited their mama to, friends and family day, and a lot of people joined the church. Those days are gone. For more help with this, if you need a private consultation and you've never had a free private consultation before, and don't be calling me, and this is the 5th time we've talked, but if you've never had a private conversation, I do offer free private conversations to help get your ministry going. I do also do discovery calls, as well as strategy marketing plans, and also digital media buys. I will be more than happy to walk you through that process. Also, if you have not yet picked up, if you don't have those resources, and I get it, then there is a book called The Church is Leaving the Building. There are 2 books that I've authored. One is a bestseller, The Church is Leaving the Building. You can get them both on Amazon, and Church Marketing on a Shoestring Budget. Both of these items give you blueprints on how to integrate your eChurch program into your brick and mortar church, as well as give you some church marketing tips that can be transformed and utilized both in brick and mortar as well as your eChurch or online church community. All right, well, that's it for today. I hope that you gained some insight to this video, and I look forward to sharing more coffee with you in the coming weeks. Have a blessed day, everyone. Bye.